Yo, what's going on, guys? GCTV here, back with another video, and in this video we are going to be talking about Better Call Saul, the 7th episode of Season 3, Expenses. So yeah, this is it's a decent episode. I'm sorry for the glare, but I just had to let the sun in. I can't really put my windows down farther because I have my vinyls hanging back there against the wall, and I don't want them to get crushed. We're going to go through the plot and the critical reception, then we're going to talk about this week in the NFL for week 2. It is 10:10 where I'm at. In probably about an hour and a half. I'm going to be going to lunch, so I just wanted to get some videos out. Anyways, Jimmy McGill picks up garbage as part of his community service. So obviously, in place of him not getting a disbarment, he has to do community service and face a 12-month suspension. That's his punishment. That's kind of like his conditions right now. It's not the best, but hey, it's better than getting disbarred. He's still considered a lawyer, just not right now. At the same time, he uses a cell phone to conduct business for Saul Goodman Productions. Obviously the last episode ended introducing Saul Goodman, and now we're seeing Saul Goodman go on these ventures with all these companies and trying to get commercial spots for them, changing his name so they don't know him as Jimmy McGill the lawyer. Yeah. At the end of his 4-hour shift, his supervisor credits Jimmy with only 30 minutes, and that's because obviously he was on his phone, and you can't be on your phone. It's pretty much jail time doing community service. So yeah, he was on his phone taking calls. He had to do his side job while he was doing community service because that's his only source of income right now. Yeah. Jimmy shoots a commercial for a reclining chair store, but the owner declines Jimmy's offer to shoot more, so he's only able to get one commercial out of the guy, which obviously that's not ideal because he wants to get more commercials to get his company going so he can pay for that office, because that's pretty much the whole point of him running this gig, is so he can help pay rent and pay for all of the expenses for that place, so Kim can continue to do her practices. Jimmy gives Kim Wexler the money for his share of their office expenses, which concerns her because she thinks he might be exhausting his savings and taking stuff out of his bank account kind of as a last resort thing. He's kind of down bad right now in terms of financial stuff. Nacho Varga, we're going to move on to his part of the story. He breaks into Daniel Wormold's house. Obviously, Daniel Wormold was the guy, it might have been season 2 with the baseball cards. He makes his return to the show, and Nacho Varga is there to continue to do business with him. When Daniel arrives, obviously Daniel's like, oh my goodness, you broke into my house. Nacho offers him $20,000 to obtain empty capsules that look like Hector Salamanca's nitroglycerin because, Nacho Varga, Hector Salamanca is shooting close to home with Nacho Varga, so he's going to change the pill bottle, or the pill fillings, put different poison and stuff in it so it kills him. Yeah, he does not like Hector because he's trying to use his dad for his business. Mike Ehrmantraut assists with the construction of a playground for Stacey Ehrmantraut's church and accepts help from other support group members, including Anita. Now, Anita and Mike hit it off right away. It's kind of interesting to see this. Mike doesn't really show emotion for people that he doesn't really care that much for, but once he starts learning more about this girl, then he's like, okay, I like this girl. Not intimate, he just likes her as a person. Mike later heads to the courthouse parking lot to start his shift, where Daniel asks Mike to be his bodyguard again, and he tries to sneak up, tries to make it look low-key, and yeah, Mike doesn't want to get busted by his workers. He wants to live a normal life and have a job like this, so people don't look at him as a con man that he is, and as a hustler that he is almost. Mike refuses and advises Daniel not to meet Nacho because he could get in big trouble. It could be shady. He had to be a bodyguard before, so that tells you stuff about Nacho Varga. Paige Novick, obviously the girl from Mesa Verde, praises Kim's cross-examination of Chuck McGill at Jimmy's disciplinary hearing, which led to Chuck's meltdown. She really praises her for pointing him out for a mistake, even though it's not really a mistake. But it just shows how good of an attorney she is, given that Chuck was right, but obviously they won by a miracle. It was a miracle case. Kim expresses regret for having destroyed Chuck's reputation because really she didn't really hate him to begin with. It was really about Jimmy. So she kind of expressed some slight murmurs of regret, but they moved on with their relationship at Mesa Verde. So at the support group, Mike befriends Anita after she recounts how her husband mysteriously disappeared. The story compels Mike to agree to be Daniel's bodyguard. She's like, man, people are out here dying. I'm like motivated now for some reason. I don't know. It was kind of a weird thing. During dinner with Jimmy, Kim briefly plays along with the con, but makes sure he knows they are not going to follow through. It's just reminiscing on what they used to do as a couple. They used to pull off these cons, so it's kind of like going down memory lane. And by the way, this episode was like 52 minutes long, so it's like 5 minutes longer than the average episode. So that was interesting, to say the least. I guess there's so much stuff that's getting introduced into the show that they had to make it longer. When Kim wonders whether they did the right thing by causing Chuck's meltdown, Jimmy replies that what happened to Chuck was Chuck's fault, even though Jimmy actually did it. Now, I'm not even sure if Kim believes for a second that Jimmy did it, but maybe she does, given his history, given what he did at Dave's in Maine to get fired, all this type of stuff. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Yeah. I mean, Chuck slipped up and admitted that he doesn't have EHS, so yeah. Mike and Daniel meet with Nacho, who tells Mike that Hector wants to use Manuel Varga's upholstery shop as front for Hector's drug trade. So Nacho intends to kill Hector by switching his anti-nitroglycerin for a placebo. I've never been good with medical terms, so I can't really pronounce stuff like that. So Manuel Varga is obviously his dad, and he doesn't want Hector having anything to do with his father. He's an innocent man. Mike advises Nacho that if Hector dies, Nacho should take the fakes from Hector and replace them with the real ones, so the cause of Hector's death will not be obvious. It'll just be like a natural cause type of thing, and Nacho's ass will be saved, because if they find out he did this to Hector, he will probably get killed in like a very gruesome way too. Jimmy tries to obtain a refund on his malpractice insurance premium, because obviously he goes to his insurance office for his law stuff, and obviously, he's not a lawyer right now for a year, so he wanted to get it revoked, but that's obviously not how it works. The agent is unable to comply because he needs to be covered if someone accuses him of past malpractice while his license is suspended. So this pretty much covers funds if you get sued by a client. That's kind of what this insurance is. The agent also informs Jimmy that his premium will rise substantially after he is reinstated because he committed a violation a bar violation. Jimmy appears distressed and mentions Chuck's breakdown as the reason. Now, I'm not sure if this was acting on Jimmy's part or not. He sneers as he departs, aware that he has caused trouble for Chuck. We're not going to realize how big a trouble Chuck is in until we actually see the next episode, but my goodness, that was very good. It's going to be on Chuck's end. They're going to see he's distressed, and they're going to know that Chuck kind of caused something. So I think that's what the cliffhanger of this episode is intended to do, is to really put Chuck into more trouble than he already is, given that he can't get his brother off his back, and given that he took his brother to court and didn't really win big time, and the fact that Jimmy's not locked up, it's going to lead Jimmy to doing some bad things for Chuck. I don't know. General critical acclaim, Rotten Tomatoes, 93% rating, 8.63 out of 10. Usually it's 100% rating. That's interesting. An award-worthy lead performance among a torrent of quality drama and sharp dialogue add up to a winning showcase for Better Call Saul's continued evolution. Yeah, it's a pretty good episode. Bob Odenkirk submitted this episode because obviously you get a choice for outstanding lead actor in a drama series. So yeah, this was the episode he chose, because obviously him crying at the end was like a good acting job. Him just feeling so down on himself that he's like losing money, because when they went to the guitar place and they had them shoot for free, he still has to pay the employees, like the camera crew, like the girl that holds the cards, the cameraman, the mic man, the boom man, or whatever they call him. And then he has to pay for the placement of the commercial, so he's losing a lot of money. But anyways, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Tomorrow will be The Walking Dead, and I might watch a movie tonight if I have time. I'm not really sure. There's not really much on tonight. Jeezy TV, reviewing all your favorite TV shows. I'm about to talk about the NFL Week 2 here in a little bit. But, yeah, stay smooth. Have a good rest of your day, guys.